Hey guys, wanted to give you the April market update. Just a quick look at the numbers. If you look in the graph below, you will see some data that I'm going to talk through real quick. I'm commonly asked, hey, how's the market doing? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? And let's just talk through that as we look at this real estate market snapshot. Uh, Real estate, of course, looks backwards for its data. So we're going to look back at March and last year and see how we did year over year and month over month. So we'll start with active listings. You can see that in last year we were at 11,939 active listings. Last month, that number dropped from last year all the way down to 3,944, and we're down even further this month for the month of March to 3,574. Now, a lot of buyers will say, alarmingly, well, there's only 3,500 listings to look at across the entire city of 6.1, 6.2 million people here in Phoenix. But if you look down at that new inventory number, two numbers down in the graph, that is remaining steady from last year. 10,547. This month was 10,245. So that's good news. That actually means you have 10,245 new listings hitting the market, plus those active listings that remained. So there's plenty of inventory to look at. It's just getting gobbled up really quickly because there's a lot of demand, both from new home creation. Uh, Millennials are growing up and buying houses. They're now the largest buying segment. And then we also have a lot of inbound migration, people coming here from elsewhere and really taxing our market. Consequently, a lot of those people are coming in from high home sales in places like California and New York and Washington. And so they are really leveraging their cash buying power. And we're seeing that negatively affect local Arizonans who may own a home and want to buy. Uh, this negatively affects them because they are contingent a lot of the time. So removing that contingency to have to sell a home before you can buy a home can be very valuable. And it's honestly where first-time home buyers have a bit of an advantage in this market because they not only have down payment assistance to help them with their down payment, but they are also non-contingent because they don't have a home. Let's look at average days on market, 34 days. You can see last year we were all the way up at 54, which is already low, mind you. Last month we were at 40, and we're down to 34 days on market. I get asked quite a bit if there is a bubble forming, if there is a crash imminent, things like that. I take the market as it comes. And right now, every indicator we're watching, including this one, says no. There is so much demand and so little inventory that it's classic supply demand economics. And as long as that continues, we are not in danger of a massive shift in the housing market unless something externally happens with the economy at large. Very rarely does the economy and the housing market correlate. Uh, so the number of closings, 9914 is definitely up, and that's telling. We're just doing more volume. And because supply is lower than demand, we also have the sales price growing from average sales price growing from 378 a year ago to 465 last month and jumping all the way to 477 in March. February, March launches the start of the real estate selling season cyclically. And this is indicative, that price jump is indicative of the competition for those homes. Supply of inventory is just 0.36 months. Total insanity. You can see that's dropped all the way from 1.39 last year. And then here's where we talk about bubble, and we talk about, more importantly, a crash. Is a crash imminent? Well, you can see a year ago, the listing success rate was 80.3. That means 80.3 of listings that hit the market sold, and a full 20% did not. Last month, that number was 90, and we're at 91.9. Traditionally, until that number drops below 80, we're not even going the other way. So, or drops in the low 80s at least. So as long as we remain 91.9, 89, 88, the market is still going this direction. But as long as that supply remains low and demand remains strong, we're not in any danger of a quick reversal. The demographics of the millennials coming of age says that demand is also not going to reverse anytime soon. We have depending on who you listen to, a 2 to 5 million household shortage in America, which is amazing. I mean, that's going to take some time, years to make up. So the people that are preaching impending doom and gloom aren't paying attention to the numbers, quite frankly. And then finally, sold to list price ratio, another key indicator. People who are going to market are getting their listing price. And I know you hear how crazy competition is, how crazy over ask offers are coming in at $15,000 to $30,000 over listed price. Just know that if you are in the market to be a buyer, that there is still plenty of homes out there that are not going for that much over. In fact, it's about 53% of the market is going for over ask, and about 47% of the market is actually going for under ask, and that averages to 99% sold to list price ratio. So is it a good time to be a seller? All these numbers point to phenomenal time to be a seller. We're in an odd market where it's also a great time to be a buyer. Because interest rates are so low, it is offsetting this pricing up here where you see the 477, 632. We are setting new average sales price records pretty much every month, every quarter. This is setting records, but our low interest rates mean that it is actually more cost effective to buy a house today than it was 15, 20 years ago. So take advantage of those rates. It's an odd time in the market where it's a great time to be a buyer. One more note on being a buyer versus a seller. It's commonly thought that you should sell in a seller's market and buy in a buyer's market. And while that may be true for sellers, it's actually reversed for buyers. Put it this way. Why would you buy in a buyer's market and watch your equity shrink? Because a buyer's market is actually headed downward. The time to buy is also in a seller's market when your equity is going upward. Because if you buy, and another note on timing the market, Warren Buffett says, don't time the market. Gary Keller says, don't time the market. Pretty much the conventional wisdom is you may be a fool if you do, because you may be missing that long rise when you thought it was going to reverse, because it's all speculation. Real estate is a long-term investment. And if you think of it in those terms, no matter what it does in the short term, the long term pretty much points to about a 4, 5, 6% return on your investment, depending on the 10-year average. So yeah, just keep in mind that it's a long-term investment and that it is a good investment. More millionaires have been made in real estate than any other form. And it's an incredible vehicle to be part of your portfolio. And they say the best way to buy your dream home is to buy your first home. Anyway, that's what I've got for you on the market update. Please let me know if you have any questions. Give me a call, 520-878-7180, or visit findhappyaz.com. Thanks.